something about the triple string system, like these modes, Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian and so on, I promise you, by the end of this video, you'll understand deeply how these modes connect back to arpeggios, and you'll have a huge light bulb moment. You have to promise me though, you'll focus and have patience with this video. Switch off your devices, get your guitar out, take some good notes, pause the video to process the things that I'm saying. But you'll have your huge light bulb moment. Start, guys, by getting my free arpeggio guide. Anyway, description below. Have fun with the video, and I'll see you afterwards. If you have like a backing track in C, right? So, and I'll put it on. So this is the piece I found, backing track in C. It's a C Dorian backing track, guys, right? So. And if you would not know arpeggios, you would play like C minor licks. And so on. So always, alright, so that's right, you play C minor pentatonic licks, you play C Dorian lines. You're playing C Dorian lines, nothing wrong with that, it's all cool. You play like this. Play those, like kind of bit of a hybrid between pentatonic and C Dorian, it's all fine, right? But you will always be missing a certain sound, and that is very simple. What is an arpeggio? Like, I always see like the mother scale is C Dorian, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? A minor pentatonic scale is extracting only 5 notes from that, right? And a arpeggio, guys, is only extracting 4 notes from them. Which 4 notes? Well, it's the 1, the 3, 3rd note, the 5th note, and the 7th note. That's an arpeggio, right? An arpeggio is just 4 notes from a scale, which from any scale, 4 notes. The first one, the 3rd one, the 5th one, and the 7th one. That's how I see it, right? So for me, you have 3 modes now to solo over, right? You have the Dorian scale itself, 7 notes. You have the minor pentatonic in this case. And you have the arpeggio to play around with. This is only 4 notes. Now, because it's 4 notes, it's 1, 3, 5 and 7. The 1, 3, 5 we call a triad in music, right? This is a very strong foundation of chords and chord sounds. So that's why we almost sound like a chord sound or a color, as we would call it in jazz guitar. Right, so this is cool, right? I can play this. Now the next step for you guys are, let's say we need to expand that arpeggio, so not to be locked in this mini position here, but, and that's why in this case my PDF, that arpeggio PDF, is helping for you guys, because this is a 6R shape now. Right? We call this thing a minor 7 arpeggio. Why? Because it has 1, a flat 3, a 5 and a 7. Right? A major 7 arpeggio is a bit different, right? It has not, it has a major 3rd, 5th and, right? So if would this would be a C Ionian scale. Build an arpeggio from that. I would have 1, 3, but the 3rd degree of a C Ionian scale is now here. Not here like C Dorian, but here. And then again, do not be constricted. You get that arpeggio guide and you find the 6R shape. Right, so that's a bit an introduction to arpeggios. Hey guys, it's nothing more than a selection of notes, And then again, not to be confined, if you like that C Dorian sound, well, this is the 5R shape and expand it. Right, so now let's simply use a bit of that arpeggio sound over this track. So I have again a C Dorian track. C Dorian track. I can play C Dorian, right? But I know a C Dorian scale which I need to use on this track. It's generating C minor 7 arpeggios. So just using that C minor 7 arpeggio for you guys, right? I'm in that position, right? I'm playing a C minor 7 arpeggio of a C minor track, right? Whoa! So that works, and what it should give you guys is new ideas, right? Arpeggios are meant for you guys. Those are shapes. It's kind of a limiting exercise. You can only play those 4 notes, right? Well, that's what those shapes are doing for you. And the beauty of the thing is, guys, when you practice this, how do you practice this, right? You go through all these shapes, and I think I explained in the main course, right? You play the arpeggio, then you play the scale, maybe a few times back and forth, right? You play the arpeggio, you play the 7-note scale. You play the arpeggio, you play the 7-note scale, guys. And then third step is you create hybrid lines, right? That's meaning is a bit of scale, for example. Then a bit of arpeggio. Maybe much arpeggio, right? Starting scalar. Down the arpeggio, and then maybe again some scalar stuff. Maybe that is a line for you guys, or an exercise, right? Grammaticism at the end, but you get the point, guys. I'm calling these hybrid lines, nothing to do with hybrid picking, but these are lines that have some scalar moments and then some arpeggio, and that is what defines Greg's playing. He's always doing that. He's always thinking in arpeggios, and he's always just adding notes to that arpeggio, right? Giving that hybrid sound. Right, so which is the jazz approach basically, right? So how do you practice it again? So you go to the next shape. This is the 6L shape, then you add scale tones. Where do I get those scale tones from, guys? Well, those are all C Dorian scale notes, right? Those are C Dorian scale notes. The only thing is, but I only know the 3-note per string system. Well, this is the 3-note per string system, right? Just keep on using it. The only thing I am doing, guys, is like let's see, a C Dorian is a G Aeolian. G Aeolian is A Locrian, is B flat Ionian, right? Right, so a B flat Ionian. The only thing is, guys, we need to not play those those fingerings. So in the 3-note per string system, you sometimes come across this thing here, with 1 fret between every finger. We need to avoid that, and that will give you those nice vertical shapes which stay closer to the arpeggio. I did a whole video on YouTube on that, but let's see. How do we avoid it? Well, by eliminating that last note, that pinky. How do I eliminate that? Finding that note on the string below. Found it. And then always, if you have done this kind of correction, you end up in the 3 per string system to the left of that. And then you can continue. As long as you don't find again those guys. And again you do the same thing. Don't like that. It's the same. So see. See, and that's how you, so all that good 3 per string knowledge is not lost. You just have to, I think at least, you just change a little bit those shapes to eliminate this kind of fingering, so that scale shape stays closer to the arpeggio shape, and it helps you guys to build those hybrid lines, helps you find those hybrid lines. Because if your scale shape is going like this, like in a typical 3 per string, and your arpeggio shapes are by definition vertical, you'll not be able to play those and practice those hybrid lines. So it's really important, guys. Alright, again, this is a little bit on arpeggios. Now, let's now talk about superimposition, right? So, I just played that track, right? It's a C Dorian track. It's a nice track. It's called Pizza Funk. I transpose it. It's C Dorian. Nothing wrong. I'm playing C minor 7 arpeggios, right? But let's look at the sheet here, guys. Let's look a bit at the theory. So, okay, I'm here in this sheet, in this example, and we're going to only work out one example. The rest is same thinking, guys. So, a C Dorian backing track, which is cool. All right. C Dorian back, so it's a C minor 7 kind of a chord, and then we're using the C Dorian scale. That's what it says here. But then the next thing, and that is probably something you know, a C Dorian scale equals a D Phrygian scale, right? So let's see, is this true? Of course it's true. We have a C Dorian, especially again, guys, a 3 per string, guys, will go, alright, I'm going to the next mode, starting from the D note, Dorian Phrygian. It's like this thing you need to speak: Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian, Aeolian, Locrian. Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian, Aeolian, Locrian. That's something you need to really memorize to help you guys. Right, so a D Phrygian scale. It's just the same notes as a C Dorian scale, right? So, but now comes the interesting part. Just as we extracted an arpeggio from that C Dorian scale, let's do the same thing for the D Phrygian scale. So I'm putting myself here, rehearsing the definition of an arpeggio, which is just, let's take the first note, the third note, the fifth note, and the seventh note of a scale, and play that in a row. So for 1, the third note of D Phrygian is an F in this case, the fifth note is an A, and the seventh note is a C. And again, this gives me a minor 7 arpeggio, right? Because we have a 1, a 3, a 5, and a 7. Right, so now I know a minor 7 arpeggio from my arpeggio PDF, so I can again expand that in that direction. See, I've just taken 4 specific notes of the Phrygian, which are also notes of C Dorian, creating a D minor 7 arpeggio, which is diatonic, which is perfectly, which are just all notes from C Dorian. See how I go? C Dorian equals D Phrygian. D Phrygian, I'm only playing 4 notes of the D Phrygian, 1, 3, 5, 7. That generates a D minor 7 arpeggio. So a D minor 7 arpeggio over a C Dorian track is perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with it. So I can go here, and I can play, we know all those shapes of minor 7 arpeggios, we know 5, so I can play the 5R shape of a D minor 7. Let's see how that sounds, guys. Minor 7 arpeggio over C Dorian track, nothing wrong with it. But I always tell you guys how you practice arpeggios. You play that arpeggio and then you play the scale. Now it's interesting because, alright, arpeggio. If I now want to play the scale, be careful, guys. The scale that you need to play in this case is a D Phrygian, right, or a C Dorian, right? So this is interesting now. You need to think a bit now, right? So again, it's just this. But now comes the interesting part. If you want to create hybrid lines now, I can do, for example, starting with this D Phrygian fragment or C Dorian fragment, always the same. For example. See, that could be a hybrid line based on a D minor 7 arpeggio, and so I'm seeing that D minor 7 shape, right? But at a certain point in my run, I'm choosing to play more a scalar part. So I see I'm sneaky going into the next shapes. That is superimposition. It's nothing more than, in this case, over a C Dorian track, C minor 7 chord, right? Then not playing the C Dorian generated arpeggio, which is a C minor 7, but playing another arpeggio that is in this series, because I just took the next one, right? The second degree of C Dorian is a D, and it's a D Phrygian scale generating minor 7s. So if we move on now to the third degree, the third degree of C Dorian is an E flat, right? Here it is. Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian. C Dorian equals E Lydian. And again, E Lydian. And this is interesting. What kind of arpeggios does an E Lydian generate? Well, arpeggios are always 1, 3, 5, 7. And this is in this case for an E flat Lydian. Right? 1, 3, 5, 7th degree of an E flat Lydian. In this case, a D. Right. C. So an E flat Lydian scale, guys, really equals C Dorian, but this time it's generating a major 7 arpeggio. 1, 3, the 3 is whole, 2 whole tones away, it's a major third, I will call it. An F. Yeah. It's not anymore just below the root note one string, but here. Probably this is rehearsal, guys. But in this case, so we are finding something here. We're finding that, oh, I can play an E flat major 7 arpeggio over C Dorian, and that's exactly again what the sheet is telling you guys, right? So on the third degree of C Dorian, there is this beautiful E flat major 7 arpeggio for you guys ready, right? So let's hear this, right? Because this is interesting, guys. This is the first conclusion you need to draw. So you see that all the time on this sheet, apparently the arpeggios built from the third degree of the scale you're in, they sound the most beautiful. And that's always the case. That's invaluable information, right? When I found this, so that's cool, hey guys. So when you're jamming, you need to pick out an arpeggio or a line that will be based on an arpeggio. Go for the arpeggio that's on the third first, right? That should be your choice, right? So let's see. Still the C Dorian pizza phone backing track. The third degree. This is E flat. Now I'm choosing to play it here. Again, E flat is also here. The fifth degree in major 7. So the 5 R shape of a major 7. Got PDF. What a beautiful sound. This is a major 7 sound over a minor backing track. But it's not whatever major 7, it's a major 7 built on a 3rd degree of C Dorian. Then you build lines. See guys, and that is superimpositioning. So again, how do you practice that? Well, you play again the arpeggio, then you try to play the scale. It's not what we're doing, right? So you always try to find the scale, again, which is as vertically as possible. But don't be, I would say, this is interesting, don't be a complete autistic also about it, right? Because in this case, for example, if I look at it, you see I'm using that so much, and this is the forbidden 3-note string finger. So once you play more and more and you follow my courses, you will see many lines of Greg Howe, of course. It's just in your practice room you try to, of course, think a bit more artistically and say, alright, I need to find that shape. Still that shape, right? And but the 5R shape. Right, has that fingering, of course. But yeah, always play that arpeggio, guys, find the scale and then try to build hybrid lines. Could be a good example here. Right, so that could be a nice hybrid line for you guys. Alright, so this is superimpositioning in general, and it generates what we call colors. Now, why is this also special? And for example, why is that arpeggio built on a 3rd degree so special? But we'll talk in the next video, because if you like this lesson and want to go deeper on arpeggios, check out my arpeggio dimension course description below, or else go and watch this video, kind of a different perspective on arpeggios, how to find them without theory. I'll see you next time. Bye.